What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you come into the channel. Check out the content. And with that being said, man, I wanna talk about an interesting discussion that has been going on since the Golden State Warriors are in the playoffs, and a lot of people are talking about who's better, like Dennis Rodman or Draymond Green, right? And if you had to ask me a while ago, I probably would have definitely said Dennis Rodman, and that's because I'm always like biased when it comes to old school basketball players and stuff like that, right? But I don't know, man. I might be I might be leaning towards Draymond, and just because what I see from Draymond, as far as like what he is able to do for his team, Golden State. Some things that Draymond bring to the table, Dennis Rodman didn't necessarily have to do. Now, it wasn't like Dennis Rodman probably couldn't do other things, but Dennis Rodman just basically had to focus on playing defense and getting rebounds. They didn't need Dennis Rodman to facilitate the offense. None of the teams that Dennis Rodman played for, they didn't really need Dennis Rodman to facilitate the offense. Or, like I said, they didn't need Dennis Rodman to score. So he was just a defensive specialist, right? And so I'm gonna go over some stats though, I'm not even really basing this on stats. I'm just basing this on my opinion, like what each one of these guys brought to the teams that they played for. Now, Draymond only played for one team. So in my opinion, that just gives Draymond another advantage, another leg up, because I like when ball players stick with one team. So all right, for Dennis Rodman, he averaged 7.3 points per game throughout his career. And they got him down for 13 rebounds. I'm not sure I thought it was higher than that. I thought he averaged way more rebounds than that for his career. But all right, 13 rebounds, one assist, and a 52.1 field goal percentage, right? And I think Dennis Rodman do have. Let me see. Dennis Rodman has like 4 championships. I know he had two with. Was it 5? Did he get 3 with the Bulls, 2 with the Pistons, and 3 with the Bulls? So I know he has 5. All right, so he got 5 championships. All right, so let me get the stats. I'm gonna pull up the stats. Career stats for Draymond Green. So
in 881 NBA games, Draymond Green has a career record of 7,665 points, 4,948 assists, 6,087 rebounds, and 1,183 steals.
all right, so I'm gonna look at it myself and go over, right. So all right, so points per game. All right, so Draymond is his points per game is a little bit higher than Dennis Rodman. He only averaging 8 points a game. I thought Draymond was averaging at least double figures. But let me see. Assists per game. Draymond is beating. He's beating Dennis Rodman when it comes to assists. And let me see. Ooh, he's up there though with turnovers. That's one thing I think that's probably gonna hurt him. He's up there with turnovers. And I'm trying to see. And so Draymond do have 4 championships, but for what Draymond, like I said, for what Draymond brings to the Warriors, I gotta go with Draymond. Like the stats are closer for Draymond and Dennis than I thought they would be, as far as like scoring. Like Dennis Rodman averaged 7 points. Let me see how many rebounds. Let me go with how many rebounds Draymond Green averaged throughout his career.
Draymond Green has 6.9 rebounds per game during his NBA career.
Oh man, so all right, 6.9 rebounds. Dennis Rodman, wow, 6 rebounds per game. I thought Dennis Rodman averaged 13. Dennis Rodman was a beast, right? And Draymond, I thought he would at least have double figures in rebounds and scoring. But like I said, man, like for what Draymond bring to the table, what he have to do for Golden State, you know, it's just I think I gotta go with Draymond. I'm a big Dennis Rodman fan, like I said, because I'm from that era, from that 80s, 90s, early 2000 era, right? And I like that style of basketball. I like the fact that Dennis Rodman he played aggressive and he played hard defense. Also, Dennis Rodman was able to he went up against some guys, man. He played against Shaq. Who else did the Chicago them? Man, I mean, he played against all those big centers and power forward. Carl Malone, you know, and he did good. Who else he used to do good against? It's a guy from Miami Heat, Alonzo Mourning, Patrick Ewing. I mean, he's seen all of those guys, and he did very well against all of those guys. Charles Oakley, Anthony Mason, and Dennis Rodman did good, right? He held his own and did good against all of those guys. Dennis Rodman was just a nut. But man, when I'm only thing when I look at what Draymond Green is doing, though, just from like not even a statistical point of view, when I look at what Draymond Green is doing for his team and how important it is for Draymond to be able to facilitate that offense, especially that half court offense, and his passes and stuff like that, man. I just think that and I've never been like a Golden State fan. I like Steph Curry, I like Draymond, and I used to like I like Klay Thompson when they had all of those guys together. But it's just, in my opinion, I gotta go with Draymond in this, man. Yeah, he played tough defense, and he's a very good rebounder. He is their leader from a standpoint of like he's their leader. I think he's more of a raw type of guy than like Steph Curry. Like Steph Curry, Draymond makes it possible for Steph Curry to do what he do on the floor. So I don't know. I can't see like any other place where Steph Curry could be able to play and be able to do the things that he do. Draymond just takes so much pressure off of Steph Curry. He's the enforcer on that team, when it comes to Steph Curry. So all Steph Curry got to really do is just focus on his job. And when it comes to Dennis Rodman, like when Dennis Rodman played with Detroit Pistons, they didn't really need him to do what Draymond do, right? Dennis Rodman just had to play defense, get rebounds. Because Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars, they didn't need enforcers because they had Bill Laimbeer and Rick Mahorn. They had those guys, right? And so those guys, that was their job. Now Dennis Rodman, he didn't mind being an enforcer for them, but they didn't really need that from him. Then when he go to now I know he played with the Spurs for a while. Again, the Spurs didn't really need him to do that either, just defensive rebounds. That's what Greg Popovich mainly, they really mainly wanted him to play defense and get rebounds. And so with the Chicago Bulls, he didn't really have to be an enforcer for Mike. He didn't have to facilitate the offense, didn't run through him like the offense runs through Draymond, a lot of the time. So yeah, man, I gotta give it to Draymond I never really thought about it to this extent, of what Draymond really what he does for the Golden State Warriors. So when it comes to who's better, I gotta give it to Draymond. Like now, I don't know if like Draymond is a better one-on-one, like an on-ball defender than Dennis Rodman. But like all around, like what Draymond brings to his team, and then I gotta give it to Draymond. I got to, you know what I mean? And I think I want your opinion. I want to know like how do y'all feel? Like, is it Draymond? Is Draymond a better player than Dennis Rodman, or what? Or is Dennis Rodman better than Draymond? And I'm from, like I said, that's my era. That, you know, the 80s, 90s, early 2000s. And I watched Dennis Rodman throughout his whole career. But he, in my opinion, he is not, you know, he don't do for his teams what Draymond do for these for the Golden State Warriors. So I'm gonna give it to Draymond. And yeah, man, Draymond just, and I'm impressed with what he's doing so far this season, right? In these playoffs. Him and Jimmy Butler really gonna have to step it up though, in order for them to get past these Minnesota Timberwolves, because I don't know how much time Steph Curry is going to miss. But yeah, I think, you know, Draymond is he a better ball player than Dennis Rodman. So with that being said, man, y'all make sure to like and subscribe. Also, leave a comment. Let me know who you think is a better player. Is it Draymond Green or is it Dennis Rodman? And with that being said, I will check you all out in the next video. Peace.